Earlier today, ahead of their GDC talk next week, Microsoft officially announced that they are bringing Xbox Live to Android and iOS. What about Nintendo Switch, you ask? Doesn't seem to be in the cards. What's going on, guys? Thor 19, man with the million, back again with another video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and maybe subscribe if you are new to the channel or enjoy the content. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, this isn't really news per se. We all knew it was happening based on the listings for GDC talk that came out about a month ago. Microsoft was going to be talking at GDC about how they were creating this SDK for developers on iOS and Android, and well, they officially confirmed it today, but something interesting was missing. See, in the original post, it was about Android and iOS, as well as the Nintendo Switch. You can go look. I have a video up about it. Plenty of websites wrote about it. It was right there, clear as day. But the new listing doesn't mention the Nintendo Switch, and Microsoft's own announcement doesn't mention it at all. So I wonder what happened there, which we will talk about a little bit later in this video. But let's get into the facts first, shall we? So Microsoft is bringing its Xbox Live network to iOS and Android devices. The software giant is launching a new cross-platform mobile software development kit for game developers to bring Xbox Live functionality to games that run on iOS and Android. Xbox Live features like achievements, gamer score, hero stats, friends lists, clubs, and even some family settings will all be available on iOS and Android. So people wondering what exactly these developers would use and get, well, there you go. Achievements, gamer score, hero stats, friends list, clubs. So basically, if a developer wants to use this SDK in their upcoming game, they would require an Xbox Live login. They can get all those different things. And it does look like it's the free version of Xbox Live, Xbox Silver. There was some talk about how would this be free on mobile, free on the Nintendo Switch, but the console players would have to pay. Well, it looks like it is just the free version. Everybody gets achievements in their games. There is a combined gamer score. There are stats that games do track, clubs, your friends list, your messages. It just seems to be the basic version of Xbox Live without the party system and the multiplayer matchmaking, as well as the free games that are locked behind Xbox Live Gold. So that does answer some questions there. Now, I do have to wonder how many developers are actually going to use Xbox Live functionality in their mobile games. I mean, this is all a broader push for Microsoft to reach 2 billion gamers, which is their stated goal. And a lot of those gamers play on mobile devices. So Microsoft wants to reach them, but they didn't really have any announcements, at least yet, about any developers that are going to be using their SDK in the future. So that is interesting that they didn't have any of that announcement here. Usually, sometimes you say, oh, so-and-so is going to be using this. Like, we already know, for instance, that Google is going to be announcing their console next week as part of their GDC talk, and they already have Ubisoft that's going to be there to talk about it, as well as its software bringing Doom. So it's kind of interesting that Microsoft doesn't have any developers signed up for it yet, or at least officially. You would think if somebody huge was already on board, maybe they would talk about it. Maybe they'll actually mention it at GDC. I don't know. And I don't really know if anybody's really going to use this. As for me, I don't really play mobile games. Well, I don't play mobile games. Now, would I be interested in the idea of playing a mobile game if it had Xbox Live functionality where I could sign into my Xbox Live account, Thor 19, and play some games to get some gamer score? Not really. Would it make me think twice about it? Potentially, if it was a game that I was really interested in, but Microsoft dishes out gamer scores so frequently now, and in these indie games that come out on Xbox Live, they're like a dime a dozen. The gamer score system and achievements have been just completely devalued. So I'm not really interested in this aspect of it, but it goes to Microsoft's broader vision of what they're trying to accomplish. See, it's all part of a bigger push from Microsoft to make its Xbox games and services available across multiple platforms. Game developers will be able to pick and choose parts of Xbox Live to integrate into their games, and it will all be enabled through a single sign-in to a Microsoft account. And Microsoft is using its identity network to support login, privacy online, child safety, and child accounts. So they interviewed Kareem Chowdhury and asked him a few things about this. And he says that we believe so strongly in community and Xbox Live really being at the heart of our gaming community. If you watch what we've done, especially with Minecraft over the past few years, we've taken Xbox Live to as many platforms as Minecraft is on as possible, really uniting all these communities together with a consistent singular experience for those gamers. Now, we're going to get back to the Nintendo Switch. Why isn't it there? What did Microsoft have to say about this? Well, when asked about it, Kareem Chowdhury had this to say. Our goal is to really unite the 2 billion gamers of the world, and we're big fans of our Xbox Live community, but we don't have any specific announcements as it relates to the Switch today. Now, it's interesting. Was it a premature announcement to have that in the GDC listing? Was it just delayed? Is it now canceled? I mean, Reggie just retired from Nintendo America. Was he really behind this idea and his retirement maybe threw a roadblock in it? Or is it just not ready for prime time on Nintendo yet? Interesting. I hope somebody out there, Brad Sams, Jez Corden, maybe Jason Schreier, can get to the bottom of this to see why it was listed and why it doesn't seem to be happening, at least right now. If I had to guess, probably is delayed. And what about PlayStation 4, you ask? Well, Kareem had this to say. If you've watched us for the past few years, we've taken a very inclusive approach. Phil Spencer has been very proactive on issues like crossplay, cross-progression, and uniting gamer networks, and we're willing to partner with the industry as much as we possibly can. Look, Microsoft wants Xbox Live on every device. I mean, they've been pretty transparent about that. They want it on Nintendo Switch. They want it on PlayStation. They have it now on iOS and Android. It's all about their goal of reaching 2 billion gamers. However, PlayStation, Sony, they have to allow it. And I don't think they ever will, because it doesn't really make sense for Sony to allow Xbox Live on PlayStation Network. Now, Nintendo Switch, Nintendo on the other hand, I could see that happening. And like I said, it was part of the GDC talk, now it's not. So I think that announcement is delayed, and maybe next year you might get something more concrete, possibly when xCloud is in its public trials. But it's interesting to note here that they are open to being on every network. They want to be on PlayStation, they want to be on Nintendo, they want to be everywhere. People need to get this through their head, and maybe I'll make another video about it, that Xbox is now a platform. It's an ecosystem. It's no longer just a singular box that sits underneath your TV. It's everything. So maybe I'll make that video in the future. But that wasn't the only announcement that Microsoft made today. They also announced the Microsoft Game Stack. I'm sure you're probably wondering, what is that? So Microsoft Game Stack combines all the company's developer tools, services, and platforms with Azure and PlayFab, the platform of services, and help developers build and launch cloud-connected games. So PlayFab will now be a part of Microsoft's cloud tools and Azure, allowing developers to spin up multiplayer servers for games with matchmaking, voice, and chat services, and user-generated content. Microsoft Game Stack will also include DirectX, Mixer, Power BI, Havok, Visual Studio, Windows, Xbox Game Studios, Xbox Live, and Simply Gone. It's a whole mix of Microsoft's most powerful game development tools under a more manageable single platform. So that was the big announcement today from Microsoft. Xbox Live coming to iOS and Android. No announcement about which developers are going to use that. Maybe we'll hear some actual concrete information, more concrete information about all this stuff next week. Not in the cards right now for Nintendo Switch. Probably never going to happen for the PlayStation. And Microsoft is trying to combine all these different things in the game stack so developers can have easy access to make the game that they really want. It's all part of Microsoft's push to reach 2 billion gamers, and that's the end goal. Anyways, guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it, found it informational. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, share this out on social media, maybe subscribe if you're new to the channel, or hit that notification bell if you always want to be notified when I drop new content. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and I'll see everybody in the next video. Later, guys.